Okay, so welcome to a special edition of Supercharging with Emily. And we're having our Entrepreneurs Fireside Chat. So today I thought we would just have a conversation and just catch up on some things. And I would share some insights with you and get your feedback because I would love to hear from you. I'd like you to share with me in the comments your thoughts. I'm interested to know what type of content resonates with you the most. What will you find most beneficial? What is most helpful for your entrepreneurial journey? So please do take this opportunity to share with me and let me know from your perspective what is helpful. And today, I just wanted to share some thoughts with you uh, on some things that I've been reading, things I've been listening to that might be some great tips. So today, I was listening to a podcast by Jim Rohn, and a lot of people are familiar with Jim Rohn. He gives a lot of great, he's now passed, but his legacy of recordings continues and continues to motivate and inspire generations long after him. And so I'm very grateful to be able to hear these recordings on YouTube and the various channels. And so for our fireside time, I want you to make yourself comfortable, get yourself in a cozy chair, maybe even go by your fireside or something, and just relax and be in a place where we can just converse. Normally, it's not a tutorial type thing today. It's not like totally pre-engineered. It's a little bit free-flowing, but I do have some thoughts that I'd love to express from what I read. So back to what I was saying about this podcast with Jim Rohn. So when I hear a podcast or hear something on YouTube that really sticks out in my mind, I go and I grab my phone and I will record the quote or what I hear. I will either just do the voice dictation on my phone right down here and just dictate into it, speak into it what I heard. So some of the quotes he shared, and Jim Rohn is known for sharing some pretty amazing quotes. The one that some that stood out today were wisdom uninvested in labor is waste. Wisdom uninvested in labor is waste. So if you don't do something with all the knowledge you're acquiring, people listen to videos, they watch tutorials, they take courses, they do this, they do that. But you have to apply and make the time to implement what you're learning. The other quote he shared was, all disciplines affect each other. All disciplines affect each other. If you're disciplined in one area of your life, chances are really high you'll be disciplined in another. And conversely, if you don't have that discipline, it will flow through and infect all areas of your life, almost like affect, and infect both. Absolutely. Another quote is, whatever you do, do not become a victim of yourself. Whatever you do, do not become a victim of yourself. That whole self-sabotage or finding an excuse for something. And then he shared, repetition is the mother of learning. That is not an unfamiliar quote, but repetition is the mother of learning. We need to hear things several times for it to stick and to really make that difference. And then this last one I thought was a real eye-opener because I had not heard this before today. So he shared that the word tip, when you tip a waiter, when you tip someone, is actually an acronym. And it stands for to ensure promptness. Tip, to ensure promptness. Promptness of service, promptness of attention. And so usually you would give it up front as opposed to at the end because you want to ensure the service. So therefore you want to give the tip up front and not afterwards. I thought that was intriguing. Oh, that deserves something. Yes, absolutely. So maybe you want to try that next time you go to a restaurant. Instead of waiting till the end, maybe take a leap of faith and say, hey, I believe I'm going to get some great service here today. Let me give my tip right now. and see if it makes a difference. Now, this could be, he gave the example that if you have like a special customer luncheon or dinner or something, and you're taking out a client to dinner or someone that you really are trying to impress and to make sure everything goes smoothly, you can speak to the waiter beforehand and just take them to the side and say, I really want you to give us some really special attention tonight. Here is your tip, like right now. And he went on to share what a difference that makes to kind of pave the way to make sure things work well. Try it. Hey, next time you go somewhere where a tip is involved, give it a try and see if it works. See if it, something actually happened that you're like, yay, that was a worthwhile thing to do. But I thought that was cool. Tip to ensure prompt service. Let me see if I can like add that up here for us. Tip, T-I-P. That's how you spell it. To ensure promptness. Okay. Look at here. There it is. So you can see it right down here. And that's your tip for the day. Tip to ensure prompt service. And he also mentioned regarding tips that you want to give, if you have the first thought to give a good tip, like a really good tip, go with that thought. Don't reduce the amount. Give a good, solid tip. Not only will it alleviate your conscience that you did indeed do that, but you rewarded someone for their really great service. You made a difference for them, and you're going to make a difference for all the future service you're going to get. And whenever you have to make the decision between whether you should be more generous or less generous, always err on the side, and it's not really erring at all, on the side of being more generous, because it always pays off. So let me finally, so Jim Rohn always has some amazing insights to share. So I'm reading this book right now called Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, and this book was recommended by Jeanette Miller in a Supercharged Sunday episode that we did almost a year ago, and I will drop a link for that so you can go back and listen to it. And all my guests would recommend books to read and so on, and most of them I've gotten, and this one I realized that I hadn't gotten, so I went and sent off for it. It is an excellent book. Every page has like a sticker. I just started a book. Every page I've like written all over it, and so I find this book very enlightening. And one of the things shared in here is the idea of practicing something in your head. And I also did an episode not too long ago on muscle memory. And he talks about muscle memory and the whole idea of rehearsing something in your mind in advance so that you can feel as if you're doing it, even if you're not doing it. And he gave the example of a violinist, a virtuoso violinist, who practiced in his head without even touching his violin and gave the best concert of his life. So I have to try that someday and see how that goes. It might just, make a difference. But I just want to wrap up with this. There's so many things I can share from here. He talks about a visualization practice of 30 minutes a day to just like sit there and visualize your future or your goals or your ideal situation. And this is not daydreaming. This is not hallucinating. This is not just wishing and hoping for the best. This is an intentional practice where you plan to put in action take the steps necessary to make this a reality, not just a dream or a wish or a thought. And so I have been starting to do this. I've been starting to do this I haven't done it for 30 minutes, but I have, been working towards doing this, and I find that it is a very powerful exercise. Sometimes I might be swimming, I might be going for a walk, I might be in some activity, and I can engage in that true, strong visualization of goals, of a vision for things like my vision for the Supercharged Club and and where it's going and all the things that I'm doing. So it's really something I would encourage you to do. And if you need help with this, I have actually created a visualization, your ultimate dream visualization workbook and journal that I put in my Etsy store. And it is to walk you through the steps of what it takes. And I called it my dream visualization, mind, body, and soul. And I didn't even bring up a slide to show you. But anyhow, that's fine. You'll hear about it some more. And it really is about helping you craft go through the process of this, and not just creating a vision board of just pretty pictures, but really doing the work prior to getting to that place. Like, you select pictures that land on there for a very specific reason that fit into all your other goals and plans. So nothing is random, and nothing is just because it's pretty, but it's something very, very much that you planned. So I'll share that with you as well. You can go and check that out. But today, as I said, I wanted to share just some things that I've come across that I think might be interesting to you, and also to get your feedback as I work on crafting my content plan for the rest of the year. I really would love to know what you all think is helpful to you. Maybe content, things I've done in the past that really spoke to you, and you're like, oh, that's the kind of thing I want to see more of. Well, let me know what that is for you, what that means for you, and I will endeavor to deliver accordingly. So this was my little fireside chat thing. I hope you like our beachside fire chat. There it is. Okay, the rolling fire there, and so forth. So yeah, and then if you have a fireplace scene, you get to enjoy that as well. So you should be nice and warm and toasty at this time. All right. So with that, I'm going to just thank you for being with me as usual. I'm going to share a little bit about next steps. This is my Supercharge with Emily podcast that I'm launching. So I want you to subscribe on YouTube at Supercharge Coach. Like and subscribe. Don't forget to do that. Very, very important step in the process. So definitely appreciate your support. So I want to thank you guys so much for being with me today on Supercharge with Emily, as we had this little fireside chat on some interesting things that I've read and come across and think is interesting. So, and I look forward to hearing what you think is interesting as well. So please remember to like, subscribe, do all those things that we need you to do on YouTube or wherever you're watching me from. Share it with a friend, tag someone who could benefit from some of these insights as well. And stay supercharged. I will see you next time. I sure will. Okay, and thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye.